Good morning, children. We are discussing about the beginning of farming and herding. And last day we discussed about how the earliest people started to settle and how they understood the technique of farming and herding. Okay, so all these things we are started to discuss. So the agriculture was the greatest discovery of the Neolithic age. Okay, which agriculture was the greatest discovery of the Neolithic age. Because of this discovery, the great changes happened in the life of the early humans. Okay, so during this period, early humans learned the technique of sowing seeds, growing plants, and finally harvesting them. They must have learned this accidentally or by observing the plants growing in the wild. So wild, how they understood, they observe, maybe it is happened accidentally, or they observing the plants growing in the wild. The first crops to be cultivated were wheat and barley. Okay, as time passed, early humans began to grow more crops. This changed their lifestyle. Now they settle in one place and grew crops. From food gatherers they become food producers. Okay, earliest period they are early humans, they are in the Paleolithic period, they are the herders. Okay, and they are food gatherers because they are collecting the things and edible things, and they are living. Okay, so like that they lived. But when they find out the agriculture, the method of agriculture, what they did, the great changes happen. From the food gatherers they become food producers. Okay, they led their nomadic life because they had to take care of their crops. So earlier period they are nomadic because they travel one place to another for collecting the edible things, and like that they are living. But when they find out these agriculture methods, they left their nomadic because they had to take care of the crops. As a result, they settled down and started a normal life with a regular food supply. So as a result of all this, they started to settle the life. Okay, they made mud houses near the field and settled there till the crops were harvested. Okay, so detail about we can study about that one. Then when men and children, women, men and children could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the campus where they lived. These animals, such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also pig, lived in herds. Okay, so all and most of these animals ate grasses. So at first, the first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, they started relatively gentle animals. That means calm and quiet animals. These animals such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig lived in near herds. And most of them ate grasses. Okay, so they started these kinds of life. People protected these animals from attacks of other wild animals. This is how they become herders. Like that, they become the herders. And domestication, the method of domestication. So they understood. What is domestication? Last day we discussed. Domestication is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Okay. Very often, plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild animals. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to diseases. They also select plants that yield large size grain and have strong stalks capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain. Okay, seeds from selected plants are preserved and ensure that new plants will be the same quality. So like that, they are started the domestication. And which are the plants they start for the farming, that good quality seeds they find out um, for the paddy field. Okay, so then only the next the production times, or when the production only can be increased because the good and capable seeds needed. So that types of seeds they are selected for farming. Okay. Then among us animals, those that are relatively gentle are selected for breeding. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants become different from wild animals. So they domesticated animals relatively gentle and calm and quiet animals. So that is why there is a great difference from the wild animals and the domesticated animals. Okay. So these are the about the important points about the domestication. Okay. Then a new way of life. Okay, a new way of life. If you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and the same case years. So if we are planting a plants, means it will take time. Maybe it can be 3 months or 4 months, 6 months to 1 year, like that. The when plants need time for production. So these times, these all these times, they need to we have to care these things. Okay, when we do the rice grains in the paddy field, when we need to start to cultivation, before that we have to care all these things in a period. We have to give the fertile things, watering and weeding, driving away animals. So all these activities also need to do, then only we will get the good production. So that also these people understood. Okay, if you so this may be several days, weeks, months, and some case years. When people began growing plants, it means that they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after the plants, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened, and then the grain had to be used carefully. So they started live nearby this paddy field. Small mud huts or kinds of caves or they are used for living, and nearby paddy field they started to live like that. Slowly these they started to settle nearby the field. Okay, because of different reason they settled for caring this paddy field, and nearby this field also they started the domesticated animals also. So like that they settled life. Okay, then like this, if we cared the things, large scale production will happen. Okay, as a grain can't be stored, so these grains should be stored. Okay, so the method of storing these grains also they find out. They started to make clay pots or small pit in the ground, and they started to care and store these seeds. Okay, and these animal production producers also they started to store. Okay, so like that they for the storing, maybe for the food, for the other period also they need to get food that time also, or they for the seeds they stored the things. Okay, then they started to store animals also. Animals multiply naturally. Besides, if they looked after carefully, they provide milk, which are important source of food, and meat whenever required. In other words, animals that are reared can be used as a store of food. Okay, then now you just look at the turn to map 2. Okay, turn to map 2, and which are the blue squares. These are the Paleolithic sites. Okay, Paleolithic, no, sorry, Neolithic sites. Okay, blue square, this Halor. Then there are Koldiva, Mahagra, Chirant, Dojila Halding, Mehergra, Barsahom. All these places were the Neolithic sites where the people started settled life, where the people started farming and herding. Okay, so these are the places which are the which are the Hallur. Then here is Payampalli, then Koldiva, then Mahagra, Chirand, the Dajula Harding, then Mehergra, Barsahon. These are the places where the people started at first these kinds of agriculture things. And look at the box also. Look at the table below. See where the evidence of grains, bones of domesticated animals have been found. Okay, here wheat and barley, sheep and goat, cattle, find out from the Meherga in present day Pakistan. Rice, fragmentary animals bone. Fragmentary animals bones on the present day Koldiva in present day Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so Koldiva in present day Uttar Pradesh. Rice and cattle. That is also Mahagra in present day Uttar Pradesh. Wheat and lent, it is also find out from the Gulf in present day Kashmir. Then wheat and lentil, dog, cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo. That is Barsahom in present day Kashmir. Wheat, green, gram, barley, buffalo, ox. All these things find out from the Chira in present day Bihar. So millet, cattle, sheep, goat, pig, halur in present day Andhra Pradesh. Okay, you have to read all these things, find out. Okay, so today's class over. Read the textbook properly and understand it and underline the things. And doubt also you can ask to me. Okay, thank you for listening my class. Okay.